The teams all flew back from the States to compete in round 7 of the World Championship at Paul Ricard. Note the BA Jumbo on its outside roll. As we were back to Europe, the teams were using their big transporter rigs, which could choke up any circuit paddock within minutes, but which are designed to carry literally everything. For the first time this year, Alain Prost took pole position. The sight of the tricolour and the fabulous southern French atmosphere must have spurred little Napoleon on to knock Senna off the top. But in their mammoth battle thus far, neither driver had lost composure. Could they win every race?
I think McLaren can do it, but of course it's difficult to predict. Sometimes can go wrong for both of us, you know. But the car, I think the team has the possibility of doing it, yes.
Yeah, I agree. I mean, never know what can happen. You know, at the end of the season, one car could catch up a little bit. But I think we have the technical possibilities to win all races. We never know what.
And now, who decides who's going to win which race?
No, we don't decide. I think we have a different position. Ayrton has, for the first time in his career, the car able to be world champion, and he does not want to let his chance, going away. That's normal, and he's going to push on.
What about you?
It's a little bit different.
So you're gonna let it go?
I have a little bit more pressure than. You put me more pressure.
So who can tell him not to push so hard?
No, I know. If I tell him that, it's going to be worse. So don't tell him that.
Belgium's Thierry Boutsen on yet another quick lap of Ricard, the top non-turbo runner and pushing the turbos hard. But the impeccably spoken Belgian was surprised to be so quick.
I didn't expect to be that quick here because when we tested here, we could manage to do 11.2, 1 minute 11 seconds, 2/10. And I must say we have improved the car quite a lot since we came here in May. The car is lighter, it's got more powerful engines, and it's a little bit better. Setup is better, and we worked really hard here to get it competitive, to get everything under control, and I'm quite happy with the time that I could do.
And nice to be quicker than that young Italian.
Well, my car is going well now. You know, I've lost the competition, the qualifying competition, for 2 or 3 races before because I had a very bad chassis. But since we changed the chassis, everything is back into a normal situation now, and I'm quite happy with that, the way everything is going.
Nigel Mansell was the focus of attention at Paul Ricard. Many pressmen were convinced the Englishman had already signed a Ferrari contract for 1989. So what did Nigel reckon?
It's a very difficult question. As far as I'm concerned, I'm a professional. I've got to see this year out first. We've got another 10 races, including this one this weekend, and we're not even halfway through the season yet. I don't want to even think about next year. There's a lot to do this year yet. These next few races, I know I'm joking, I'm smiling, I'm keeping my sense of humour, but it's very, very difficult for me, these next 2 races, because over the last 3 years, I've won 5 of them. I've won here twice in 87, 86, I won in 85, 86, 87 in England. So this year, to come back here and to go to England in another week's time and know that really we haven't got a chance of even coming sort of in the first 3, it's very daunting, it's very hard, and that's why, I sort of got this outlook on life at present whereby you can't fight it, you can just do the best job you can yourself and try and enjoy yourself. And if you like, bide your time and hopefully plan for the future that you're in a better position next year.
Leighton House March driver Ivan Capelli was back to drive in France after his Detroit crash. Still limping, the Italian was also wearing odd boots to cope with the swelling.
And it's team formation for the start of the French Grand Prix. 2 McLarens, 2 Ferraris, 2 Benettons and 2 Lotuses. All teammates side by side, but Prost makes the best start from pole position. Ayrton Senna going on the outside as the rest of the 26-car field stream down towards the first corner. And it's Senna going inside Berger, getting 2nd place. And in 4th place there it was Alboreto. Quite a traffic jam here at Paul Ricard. Sterling.
Yeah, well, the 2 McLarens seem to have got the lead now, away from the Ferraris on the fast back straight.
Prost is quite determined to get ahead in this, his home event, and Senna is equally determined not to let him get too far ahead. The Ferraris can use their extra power here on this long Mistral straight, and there's Berger, Alboreto behind him. Then it's Nelson Piquet, then the 2 Benettons, then Nigel Mansell, Nakajima, and the 2 Arrows, Megatrons of Cheever and Warwick. So the shimmering heat haze here at this holiday Grand Prix in the south of France at Paul Ricard. And a great start from Alain Prost. There's Terry Boutsen in the pits. He had been in 6th place. Problems with the engine.
There's Berger, and he's spun off. The pressure must have been too much. Anyway, it looks as though he's going to regain the circuit and could probably limp round to the pits. Yes, he's getting back there. He's certainly dropped a place.
He was in 3rd place. He's dropped to 4th place. But he will head for the pits to check for any damage there. Could have been in he comes for some fresh rubber. Very abrasive circuit. And it takes its toll on the rubber. 6.7.72, and Berger rejoins in 6th position. And there is Gerhard Berger closing again, Alessandro Nannini. And that gets him into 5th position. So the Ferrari driver is really charging. He's closing in now on Nelson Piquet, who's in 4th position. Berger trying to take 4th place, and he does so. They've got some extra power in these Ferrari engines now.
They must have found an awful lot since earlier in the season, because this is a circuit where you need the power up that long straight, and he certainly seemed to have it.
Patrese came into the pits. Some problems, but changing the tyres. But Senna came in behind him there, and he's just going out. And Senna managed to nip in for fresh tyres before his teammate and leader Alain Prost came in. So watch out for Prost coming in quite soon after him. But this, we suspect, at this point of the race, gave Senna a slight edge. Here comes Prost. And his pit stop took a little bit longer than Ayrton Senna's, so psychologically that was a battle he had to win as well.
Well, I think this puts enormous pressure on the pit crew, you know, because they're so good, they are so fast, and yet only needs the slightest fumble on one of their parts, and of course the whole thing could be ruined.
10.68 seconds that stop took the McLaren team, and Prost came out and rejoined the race in 2nd place, just about 3 seconds behind his teammate Ayrton Senna, who was now leading the French Grand Prix. And there, poor Terry Boutsen finally gave up the unequal struggle against his DFR Ford engine. So, Senna under pressure now. Sterling is locked up.
He's obviously feeling it, because he's locked up on quite a few laps, I think. And if you start flattening a tyre, of course, it'll make the thing unbalanced and not so nice to handle.
Well, Senna had to decide whether he went for it or not behind Dalmas, as Nigel Mansell retires. That's 7 out of 7 retirements for the Englishman. But Senna under pressure from Alain Prost. Prost does not want to let him win this, his home Grand Prix.
Here's an interesting manoeuvre. Look, he's pulled out from behind Piquet's slipstream, but now these 2 back markers, Caffey and Martini, I think, are having their own dice and haven't noticed it.
And Senna has been completely boxed in by those 2 back markers and jumped by Prost. Prost has retaken the lead from Senna, and he's still sitting behind Martini, totally boxed in, and I think he almost fell to sleep there, Sterling.
Yeah, very surprised that a man with his experience would let that happen to him, because there's no doubt the wool was pulled over his eyes.
And there's no doubt about it that Alain Prost wanted to win the French Grand Prix very badly. Oscar Lurari retired, but still manages a jovial wave to the holiday crowd. There's Prost on his last lap, heading for victory in the French Grand Prix from pole position, reasserted himself at the front over Senna. So Alain Prost won the French Grand Prix in a McLaren. 2nd was Ayrton Senna, his teammate. 3rd, Michele Alboreto for Ferrari, and Gerhard Berger, his teammate, behind him. Nelson Piquet 5th, and Alessandro Nannini 6th. Note, a dry podium in France due to their alcohol laws.